On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju. He brings us up to speed on several challenges workers are faced with in the maritime sector and also the need for a uniform collective bargaining agreement amongst African workers in the sector. We will be right back. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
A lot is happening at the maritime sector, and recently ITF hosted dock workers across Africa here in Lagos, Nigeria. Can you tell us what brought about that meeting in Lagos, Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Like I said, the ITF they came to Nigeria for familiarization with dock workers, and we have been on top of this matter for long, where we have the Ghanaians, the Liberians, and the Senegalese that happen to be a member of ITF. And coming to Nigeria now is a blessing to all the dock workers here in Nigeria that are part of ITF. So, and they only came as a result of the new port that is about to spring up in Lekki.
And very quickly, before you talk about the new port, during the meeting, which I was lucky to attend or privileged to attend, it was stated there that there should be a collective bargaining agreement that will be uniform in Africa. You specifically championed that course, and it was agreed at that meeting. So is there any update as regards ensuring that there's a collective bargaining agreement that will be uniform across board so as to ensure that workers' rights are protected?
Yes, I think that's a beautiful one, and that is why I raised the issue that very day that there should be a single CBA for all the APMT workers in all over Africa, which I think ITF have agreed. And as I'm talking to you now, we have sent out our own CBA from APMT here in Nigeria to ITF, where they are studying the CBA that we have. So they want to do comparison between the CBA of APMT here in Nigeria and that of other African countries. So it's a blessing in disguise, and that is what we have been clamoring for, that we should have a single CBA for all the APMT workers working either in Nigeria or Togo or Ghana or wherever. So that's what we are clamoring for, and I think ITF are trying to midwife it so that we can have one single CBA for APMT workers in Africa.
Okay, apart from decent work which will be promoted through this means, is there any other advantage of having a single CBA for dock workers in Africa?
Yes, it has a lot of advantage because the rates some of the terminal operators are using our members, that is here in Nigeria, sometimes it's nothing to write home about. And if you look at the rate, the currency is going up here and there. The salary of Nigerian workers at the APMT, you cannot compare it with that of Ghanaians and that of Senegalese or Togo. So we are trying to see how we can see how the salary is going to be higher compared with other African countries. Because if you are paying me in Naira, what we are saying is that this will work out the equivalent of that benchmark so that everybody will be on the same page. Because the job Nigerian APMTs are doing here is what the other African countries are equally doing. So we should have a single salary and a CBA for all our members, because they too are introducing what we call a work ethic in line with their own professionalism. That's best practice all over the world. So we should have a standard here too in Nigeria and African countries. So it's going to be a very good benefit for all the APMT workers here in Nigeria and that of other African countries. Because if you are paying me in Naira and you are paying the other people in dollars, let's work out the difference. It's going to be an advantage for us here in Nigeria and other African countries that their salary is very lower.
Okay, Lekki Deep Sea Port officially was handed over yesterday. It's been delivered, it's completed, and during the familiarization tour, it was promised that it boasts of employing so many Nigerians. How would you respond to this as the president of Maritime Workers Union? What are your expectations with this development? Have you been contacted? What's the relationship to ensure that things are in place? Because fine, it's been completed. There's still a lot of work that will be done, and it is humans that will drive this job. So, what's the contribution of Maritime Workers Union with this? It's like going to be the biggest in West Africa. So, what role have you been able to play so far?
Well, I want to thank you for that. We've been there, and we are not surprised to have another port, but it's going to be a challenge to other terminals where there's going to be a lot of competitiveness between the old and the new. And the whole world is going to focus on the new terminal. How are they going to perform? What is going to be the mechanism that they are going to bring out now in terms of new ports? But there are a lot of challenges. Challenges in the sense that the route leading to the new ports is nothing to write home about. We all know what some of us passed through when we went there. And to us, the new port is going to create more employment for Nigerians, which I think we applauded the new terminal for that. And they've started employing Nigerians to do the job. And the primary objective of any union leader is to have more membership and protect their welfare. I think that is what we started doing. The management have met with us, we've sat with them, and we've started engaging some of our professionals that are crane operators, RTG operators, crane drivers, and drivers. They are professionals, and I think they have started engaging Nigerians that are holding the business. So it's a plus to Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria having a new port. And what we need to do now is to sit down with the management and work out their collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, and give the new workers being engaged by them a very good salary. Because if you take me from other terminal to come and work with you here, I think what you need to do is to make sure that you adjusted my salary a little bit or higher than what you are paying me before, coupled with the stress that the workers, the newly employed workers in Lekki is going to pass through here because of the traffic. That's number one, and because of the road. And I pray it's going to work. That's the prayers, because most of the workers being engaged by the terminal, they are turning it down as a result of Lekki road, and they are complaining bitterly about, how do I leave my old wife and marry the new one that starts giving me problem. That is what we are passing through now. But to me, the government are ready to dualize the road, and if they dualize that road and give it a benefit something, I think it's better for Nigeria.
Okay, during the visit, there was no clarity in terms of if workers that work in the organization would be unionized or not. Would you want to um, put the record straight?
Well, I don't know where that man is coming from the other time, because like I reacted sadly on him that the way he was sounding as if he's new in the industry. Because when you say terminal operations, you cannot tell me that place is not a terminal where we have crane operators, we have tally class, we have dock workers, we have so many professional workers that are being inside the port. And you are telling us that maybe the union is not going to be allowed to come in there. I think we are past that level. As I'm talking to you, we're already there. And all the people engaged, they all are members. They are dock workers from different branches. So there's no how somebody will tell us that the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria are not going to be allowed to unionize anybody in that place. So I believe we've passed that level, and I do not think there's any problem. And if they want to give us problem, I think we look at what the law of this great country says. So we apply the law. So and I think the management have met with us. We have sat down with them, and they recognize that the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria will have a stake in the port operations. So there's no how somebody will now say yes. we don't have any.
Okay, some workers at the Nigerian Port Authority recently complained that their salary has not been increased for a while. Can you tell us what the union is doing to ensure that probably there's a salary review for workers in that section?
Yes, I want to thank you for that beautiful question. I think we are on top of this matter. Uh, Government is a continuity. I believe we need to commend the present management of Nigeria Port Authority. I think they met most of all these problems on ground, and I think they are trying to review it and see how every workers in NPA is going to be given his right as at when due. That is the stand of the union. Every union leader, you need to stand and make sure that you protect the welfare of your members. So when we heard about that the salary are not being reviewed, we were not happy about it, but with the information available before us is that the management are trying to see how they can review it and give all the workers what belongs to them. So we appreciated them, and we applauded the management for doing what we call they trying to harmonize the salary, because there is this disparity between the salary they are having before, which I think the management have put in all their efforts in making sure that they harmonize all the salary. So the review of the salary, I think it is on top gears, like what I had today, and I believe the management is on top of it.
Okay. Generally in the port, what has been your reaction or your observation as regards workplace safety? It seems to be a big issue or challenge in Nigeria, and many employers do not pay attention to it. So, from your experience as a leader, what has been the feedback as regards employers' compliance to workplace safety?
Well, I think some of the employers of labor doesn't have the love of their employee in their hearts. For example, when you have dock workers having an accident on board the vessels, before they paid the victim what belongs to him, take a long time. That is number one. And we have what we call NISATF, who take care of the insurance for the poor workers in all the ports. With what we observe now is that we've found that some of the directors or what the terminal operators, the management of some parastatals that are working within the port houses have not even registered with NSITF in law of this great country. So we have issued a directive to all our members, to all the officers within the port, that any of the employers that fail to register with NSITF in line with the law of this great country, we are going to sanction them, because there's no how somebody work with you for a couple of years and he had an accident, and some have been they cut their hands or they amputate their legs. So what's supposed to be given to them and not given to the workers at the right time. So we're on top of it, and the management of NSITF have met with the union that there's need for us to partner together and work together. So those are the areas of challenges that we're having with some of the employers of labor within the maritime sectors, who doesn't take cognizance of the accident involving any of our members. And we are crying out loud and clear for all the people to know that the era of turning the workers to be an handicap, I don't know how I'm going to put it. You call their hands or you call their legs, and the right that belongs to them was not given to them. I think that is the stand of the union this time around, that we are not going to accept that anymore, and we are equally giving a threatening all the employers of labor within the port that enough is enough.
Okay, so finally, would there be do you have any expectations as regards government ensuring that probably there is proper monitoring to ensure that the workplace is safe? There's been lots of accidents, not just in maritime sector, so many, and the employers are getting very stubborn in terms of compensating those that fall into this category. So, do you think the government needs to do more, or are the government doing enough, but the employers are the ones that are not meeting up with to expectations?
I think we have town hall meeting with our members last week with NSITF, and most of all this thing was discussed. We take it point by point, the rights of the workers within the NSITF policy. We're taking that one with our management. Like I said, the presence of NSITF is not feasible in the maritime sector. But with what we have done now through the board of NSITF, I think they have come and they have sensitized with all our members and sensitized with the workers. So what we need to do now is to find out those erring employers of labor who have not registered with NSITF. So we are using this media to tell them they should go and register, because some of them are under-registered. If they have about 500 workers, they will only register for 20 or 30, so that they won't be able to pay what's supposed to pay for all those workers under them. We are looking into that, and we equally ask our members too that are working with these various employers of labor to know how many workers that are working under them. So if they give us 50 and they register 20, I think the government needs to sanction those employers who are trying to not to comply with the law that establishes NSITF.
It was an interesting time I had with you. Thank you very much for
Thank
the
you
time.
for having me. I appreciate you.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.